Welcome to the AIP channel where anything is possible. We'll talk about anything and everything your heart's desire. Um, we are broadcasting on the Troubled Minds Network, KUAP, Digital Broadcasting, Amazon Music, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, and then many more of your favorites. Tonight we're going to talk about the conspiracy theories that were true. We had talked about the USS Liberty incident during the 6-Day War. If you didn't listen to that one, go check it out after you listen to this one, of course. And I said in there that I was going to go over some of the conspiracy theories that people talk bad about to people and act like they was not true. And of course, years later, they're right. The first one we're going to talk about is the ski experiment. In 32 people, public health service created a syphilis program, and where they gave these guys syphilis. It was 400 African American men, and they gave them syphilis. Turned around and he did all kinds of painful and unnecessary procedures to act like, just to see what they would do and how they react, even though they weren't treating their illness. It was ongoing for 40 years. In 72, when the public finally became aware of it, people were talking about it, but of course they wouldn't believe it. They actually shut down the program, and supposedly got a class action lawsuit was settled out of court for $10 million with lifetime health benefits, but for the survivors, of course their life has completely changed forever, and they lost all that time being tortured. Truly, it's just a sad thing to see. Another conspiracy theory that was actually true was MK Ultra. A lot of folks have heard about it. Back in the 50s, spies were everywhere, and of course, we had the Cold War, all that heating up, and they were trying to see, and they wanted to find a truth serum so they could make sure people were telling the truth that they caught a spy. So they started getting Canadians and U.S. citizens, injecting them with LSD, and they would interrogate them, they torture them, just to see what would happen to them. The CIA paid hospitals, prisons, and universities even for helping and being quiet. In 73, the CIA director Richard Helms ordered all documents related to MK Ultra to be destroyed, even while the conspiracy was eventually uncovered, nobody involved in the project remembered the details, and complete timeline of events remains incomplete. So the CIA cover their tracks and make sure, cover up for all the people that did some terrible, heinous things to some people. And again, it's another sad story of a conspiracy theory going true. Another conspiracy theory that came true was during in 1990, a 15-year-old girl came out and in front of Congress and said she'd witnessed Iraqi soldiers taking Kuwaiti babies out of incubators and leaving them on the floor to die, and all this horrible stuff. Of course, the mainstream media blasted all over TV and for everybody in the world to see. I remember I was young, but I remember seeing it on the news, and of course, everything she said was false. All that was made up. She was actually a daughter of the Kuwaiti ambassador to the U.S. who worked with the Kuwaiti government to get the U.S. involved in the Gulf War. It's just a way to get another false narrative to get us into war, which that's happened Happened a few times in our history, in the last century for sure. Another, I'm scrolling down my notes here. Another conspiracy theory here was Operation Snow White. It was the Church of Scientology versus the U.S. government. During the 70s, they had 5,000 covert agents of the Church of Scientology conspired to infiltrate the government, and they actually did. It infiltrated 136 organizations, including IRS, DEA, foreign ambassadors, and other government agencies. Uh, they 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 installed uh, uh, wiretaps. My brain sometimes stole hundreds of documents and then kept their church from having to pay taxes. Finally, the government actually fought back in '77, and the FBI raided the Scientology and uncovered all the probably not all of the group's illegal actions, but I'm sure they uncovered quite a few. Uh, and their actions and conspiracies against such. They finally actually put some in prison, which I'm sure was a little white collar prison that they played golf and tea and stuff in. Actually, the founder of the Scientology remained in hiding the rest of his life. Was pretty impressive, which he probably got buried somewhere. What truly happened, but that's just my theory on that one. Um, another conspiracy theory that actually was true: the CIA assassinations, and uh, we had the Watergate scandal, and we had. I'm sorry, over here yawning on y'all. Um, which I shouldn't be tired. I slept in this morning. The CIA was responsible for assassinations in Iran and Chile and many other leaders are in Central America, South America, for Africa, Middle East, and Eastern Asia, all over the world. Of course, they try to hide their assassinations, making it car accidents, suicides, which we've heard a lot of suicides. Get be tied up and then shot in the back of the head or something. Kind of suicides, cancers, heart attacks, and when they actually declassified a heart attack gun wasn't necessary. They would just um, shoot their target with actual bullets, which all part of the congressional record is still common for people to laugh this one off as another conspiracy theory, even though it's true. Um, they one I seen recently about JFK was Oswald. Was an asset. They're pretty much kind of proven that now. So, oh, JFK upset the wrong people. I go on. Another conspiracy theory that actually was true was time of fascism in America. In '33, Senator Prescott Bush, of course, the Bush lineage, father of George Sr. and grandfather George W. Bush, uh, tried to create a military coup against FDR and install a fascist dictatorship in the United States. The plot included wealthy businessmen from Chase Bank, Goodyear, Standard Oil, GM, and the DuPont family. A lot of money right there. GM tried to take over the United States. What Standard Oil? It became BP in it. I'd have to look that up. That's a good. We're gonna on the fly look it up. I'm looking. But as I multitask in my head here, they actually had a Marine Corps course Major General actually was going to lead the coup, but apparently no one did a background check before they approached him. It was Major General Smedley Butler, which actually Butler was actually a supporter of FDR, and he gathered evidence and blew the plot up. You know, they actually presented to a congressional committee, and of course they once they confirmed all his allegations, they were just happy to stop it before it started. You know, of course, a lot of those are the same companies that, as I said in another one, um, you got Standard Oil, GM, Ford was not on this one, but Standard Oil and GM actually had a bunch of financial ties with Nazi Germany, and actually got paid. Uh, the United States had to pay GM and Ford for their plants over there that got damaged during the bombings, even though they were supplying stuff for them. A little fun fact to add to it there. Another conspiracy theory, well, if I can get it out. Operation Mockingbird. A lot of people, I think, this is one of the more I've heard of Operation Mockingbird. I don't know. I dig in a lot of stuff, so maybe somebody hadn't though. It's the CIA propaganda machine they were using in '48. Uh, Frank Wisner was told to create. He was a director of Office of Special Projects, and he was told to create an organization that was capable of producing propaganda and engaging in economic warfare as a part of global war against Soviet communism. CIA took over in the 50s, and they maintained a secret campaign and influenced the media around the world for almost 25 years. I still think they're doing it now, but I guess that's a conspiracy for another day. You know, media propaganda. It, they're still doing it, but I digress. Of course, he had. They say Wisner actually owned quotation marks. I hold my little fingers up. Quotation marks for. He had them in his back pocket. You know, respected members of New York Times, Newsweek, CBS, and a lot of other major media outlets. Pretty much all of them. He had his hand on. So whatever he wanted to put posted out on the news, that's what got posted out on the news. And it pushed their agenda and what they wanted to say. He was always looking for new ways to convince the public the dangers of communism. He did the '54 animated Hollywood production of George Orwell's Animal Farm. Uh, the church committee actually exposed the conspiracy in '75, and said that the misinformation cost rural taxpayers probably $265 million a year. That's that's a lot of money that misinformation actually cost everybody. Another conspiracy. You got COINTELPRO, the FBI versus 60 activists, 1960s. The 1960s, of course, you know, they were peace and love and all that, the hippies, way before my time. But the FBI created COINTELPRO, counterintelligence program, as a purpose to protecting national security, preventing violence, maintaining the existing social and political order. You know, in other words, like I said, in other words, is there to illegally disrupt the dissident political organizations within the United States. So if they didn't agree, they're going to try to mess them up. They were active between 56 and 71. They said 85% of their programs were sourced on marginalizing, infiltrating, and disrupting groups such as women's rights, nonviolent civil rights, the Congress of Racial Equality, the American Indian Movement, and other civil rights groups. And that was the FBI was trying to disrupt it. Good old J. Edgar Hoover was told them to make sure they got expose, disrupt, misdirect, discredit, or neutralize these groups. Just gotta shake your head. Another popular one, of course, on the conspiracy side of people that that look into these, Operation Paperclip. A lot of after World War II, United States took a lot of bad people, a lot of a lot of German scientists and engineers, and gave them amnesty so they could come over here and develop for us. They wanted them to help with the rocket program and stuff like that. Of course, the Germans have been working on the rockets and stuff over there too. So they said, "Come on here, guys. We got you a job. Don't worry about what you've done in the past. We got you." And some pretty evil people, some bad people that done some terrible things, they say, was brought over here and patted on the back. Another whatever it takes to get ahead, I guess. Another conspiracy theory. Got a couple more before we finish this up. Operation Northwoods. That's speaking of JFK. They were trying to. They were actually going to hijack airplanes and blow up some U.S. ships, kill innocent people and soldiers, and of course plant some phony evidence to make the people think the Cuban government was doing it because they didn't like Fidel Castro sitting there right there beside us, that close, to the United States. So they come up with a plan, and but JFK rejected it all, and so it never did come to light. But all the things JFK for sure was known for. This should be one of the ones that, thankfully he stopped. We didn't go over there and blow up Cuba. That would have happened. It'd be a American tourist site for sure. They would have blown that sucker up, leveled it, which it probably would have got us into a third world war right then. So anything, it could have happened now. And the last one we're going to talk about, like I said, there's many, many more. You can add, Snowden when he released all that stuff where all the spying, hey, no, the government's not spying and all that. You could add those. I mean, there's many, like I said, there's many more. But the last one we're going to talk about today is the Bohemian Grove. Of course, everybody was saying there's no way that that all the big powerful people have or meeting, which they were. And it's say what you want to say about him, but Alex Jones did break it. He snuck in and got videotape. They do all kinds of weird little pagan rituals and worship an owl, Moloch, and they do a pagan sacrifice to it and everything. Of course, it's supposed to be just art or whatever. I don't know. It actually turned out that all the news actually knew it, but they covered it up. But he even the Bohemian Club was actually formed in 1872. Uh, so they started in 42. The Grove started hosting the meetings for the Manhattan Project uh, that led to the atomic bomb. So when you hear that, if they're in 42, they were deciding on ways of blowing us to kingdom come. I imagine they're still doing it to this day. Of course, you can't get close to it; you'll be arrested. I saw an episode of Decoded. They tried to come up the river and come through the woods, and they got stopped quick. Of course, they had cameras and all that kind of stuff, but camera crew, I guess, and maybe that was just for show. But yeah, it's a weird, crazy place, and a lot of the people that and big, powerful individuals, they go there all the time. They go there, for every year, whatever it is, um, when they have their meetings there. And it's like the Bilderberg group too. That's another one. But we'll go on that to another day. Like I said, there's so many more I could talk the rest of the day on, but that's just a quick summary. Like I said, each one I could spend a episode on really. Um, if we want me to do that, I'd be glad to. Again, as always, if y'all interested, just let me know. Reach out to me. Comment down, and on YouTube, comment down. On Spotify, you can comment. Of course, if you're listening, okay. Troubled Minds Network, KUAP. Hopefully, you're listening to that too. We got a lot of amazing people, lots of different programs on there, and lots of different ideas and minds coming together for the bring information and knowledge to everybody. So I appreciate y'all listening today, and I always subscribe, like, and do all that kind of stuff, and share. Let people know about the Troubled Minds Radio Network, KUAP Digital Broadcasting. Let them know about AIP. Anything is possible, and as always, y'all keep on keeping on, and peace and chicken grease. Y'all be good.